Welcome to Our Kings Today, a Queen's Perspective podcast, where I like to uplift, acknowledge, and encourage the kings of the world. Kings, I want you to pull up a seat, relax, and listen to this podcast, and know that you are phenomenal. Remember that you are king, always and forever, and I love you. Good day, Kings. Thank you for joining me for Our Kings Today, a Queen's Perspective podcast. Now, this podcast is all about you men. I'm very excited to encourage, uplift, and acknowledge you for exactly who you are. You're strong, you're confident, you're amazing, and you have so many wonderful things that is ahead of you in your life. I want you to always remember that, and that's what I'm hoping that you get out of this podcast, just how amazing you are. Today's going to be a very interesting topic. Now, who doesn't like talking about sex? I know I do. And I know that you do too. Sex is a very natural, exciting, fun, passionate, rough at times experience that mostly everybody enjoys, if you're having that good sex. But today we're talking about something a bit different. So the type of sex that we're talking about is sex dominant or submissive in your life. Now, I'm not talking about are you going in that bedroom, throwing it down, tying her up, and whipping her a little. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about is sex in a place in your life where it is overpowering who you are and who you can be as a person, as a king, as the dominant figure that you are. Now, when sex is dominant in a man's life, sex is going to take precedence over a lot of things. So you'll notice a decline when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your peace, when it comes to different things that you've loved doing that you might have stopped doing. Once you got into a relationship with a certain person who, or even not a full relationship, but in a sexual relationship with somebody, a woman who is not feeding that king inside of you. It is very important, being that masculine, amazing self that you are, to be very picky about who you put into your bedroom. Now, a lot of men do complain. They tell me all of their business about having some really crazy women in their life. And I always have to sit back and think, this is an energy that you allowed into your life. Now, sex is something that you could have sex with a lot of different people and feel like there's not really a connection, but there is a transfer of energies. So when you transfer that energy, it's going to start taking over a portion of your life. So it can be taking your peace away. If she's somebody that has a lot of dysfunction, it's going to start taking your peace away. If she has a lot of different issues, those issues are going to start becoming your issues. It is so important that you exchange energies with a woman who is going to inspire you to be greater than who you are. And this is not saying a woman that's going to inspire you to change who you are, to nag you into being somebody different, but she is going to love on you in a way that is going to inspire you to want to be a better version of yourself consistently, daily. You'll be in a consistent state of evolution. And this is a beautiful place to be in. You should never get stagnant in who you are as a person, because we can always be a greater version of ourselves. And as a king, there's always greater and more amazing parts of who you are. So I never want you to forget that. There's greatness inside of you, and that greatness has to be unlocked. And it'll be unlocked in different ways. Like it'll be unlocked with, there's different doors inside of a mansion. Look at yourself as that. Look at yourself as that. Look at yourself as a corporation. You're not going to just let anybody into your mansion. You're just not going to give anybody a job inside of your corporation. It's not going to happen, because you know that if you do that, let anybody inside of your mansion, or if you let anybody inside of your corporation, they might start acting real crazy. They might start not doing their job correctly. They might rob you. You never know. So you need to protect yourself. And protecting yourself through being very choosy about sex is very important. Now, women, we have a lot of standards. You have to have this. You have to have this kind of money. You have to have this. You have to have this kind of job, or you have to treat me this way in order for me to, let you get a little something. Basically, but a lot of men don't understand that you should have those standards too, because you are a king, you are royal, you are amazing. There's no reason why you should just let any woman into that personal, intimate space of yours. You have to protect that. So let sex be submissive in your life. Let sex be something that is going to be used in a way that's going to better you. Start picking women who deserve that time. Start picking women because your time is so important. If a woman is going to get to a place where she's in your bedroom, let's make sure that it's worth that time. Like, spend time with her first. Like, make sure that she is somebody who you feel is a great energy source, to where she is pouring into you. You need that. So I'm not telling you don't go out there and randomly, whatever, if you want to have sex with somebody. I'm not here to dictate exactly what it is that you decide to do. I'm only here to give my perspective on how I feel that you can benefit from, any type of advice that I'm giving, as in today. You have to know that you're so amazing and you're so worth everything that you give, that it's important to make sure that you only allow certain people into that amazing space. Now, as women, we like to get. I like to get. I know for sure. My love language is gifts and acts of service, so I love to get. But at the end of the day, we have to remember, basically, that even with getting, we have to give as well. So, as a man, make sure that woman is worth getting, and then you're being able to receive as well. So sex should always be in a submissive part of your life. You should be able to acknowledge and control who is within that personal space of yours, and enjoy yourself. But be careful. Don't just be sitting there putting anybody in your life and in your bed, because it's important that you understand how amazing you are. I'm always going to stress that. I'm always going to put that out there. Like, you are amazing kings. Like, I'm here. I'm supporting you, because you don't hear that too often. And as I said, as women, we have begun to fail our men. We have begun to utilize you in ways to where it's for our benefit and at your decline. And it's time for that to stop. It's time for us as women to submit to who you are as men, to submit to who you are as amazing kings, and to take our rightful position behind you to support you and push you forward and encourage you. And am I saying I will always be the type of person to challenge a man to be a greater version of himself. So I might, say little things basically that might get under your skin a little bit, but it's not meant to ever harm you. It's always meant just to encourage you and to push you forward. Be very careful on who you decide to let in your bed. Let sex be in a submissive part of your life, to where you have total control, to where you are not putting so much of yourself out there on the line, only to feel broken down and hurt and in pain. That does not make for a king to be able to do his job. Stressed out, overworked, tired, unsupported. You'll find yourself in those positions when you put sex in a dominant place in your life. You're going to find yourself in those positions. If you're going to have sex in a dominant place in your life, let's say you're married and sex is on a platter every day, which I hope for the married men out there. Sex should always be on a platter every day if you're married, She doesn't have to give the goodies all the time if she's not married, unless she wants to, okay? But if you're married, hopefully sex is a natural, everyday part of your life multiple times. Basically, but, if you do find yourself drained, a lot of times it could be for the simple fact that you're not getting the support that you should be getting. And by putting sex in that dominant place, you need to consistently be replenished. So with a man that's putting sex in a submissive place, he's going to let sex fit in where it fits in, and it's not going to interrupt or imbalance any other aspect of his life. When sex is in that dominant role, you'll find yourself more drained, especially even if you're in a marriage. Let's say that you're not actively having sex consistently. You're going to find yourself extremely drained. And this is the importance from dating from the very beginning, to make sure that you have a woman that's going to consistently implant inside of you and consistently put that energy and pour into you. A woman who is not complete within herself is never going to be able to pour into you correctly, because she is lacking. So when she's pouring into you, she's depleting her cup. So you need a woman who is very into who she is as a woman, and who loves the very core of who she is, because then her cup is overflowing, and no matter how much she pours into you, there is no depleting that cup. She's still going to be her resilient, fun, energetic self, and always is going to be able to impart and implant into you the encouragement and everything that you need. It is so important. But that's where it comes to making sure that you have not the statistics, I'm sorry, but where you have like the standards to be able to differentiate one type of woman that is not going to be able to really support you to another. So one of the ways to make sure that a woman is being that right woman in your life and is going to be able to love and support you correctly is by making sure that in the very beginning, in the dating phase, that you test her. Make sure that she's there for you. Like, don't be wasting your time. There's nothing worse than wasting your time on somebody. And then don't waste your time and then have sex with this woman, and then you're sprung out because that cookie is good, and then all of a sudden you're losing sight of who you are as a person, who you are as a king. We don't want that. We can't have that. So no more putting sex in a dominant place in your life. Have control over who it is that you're having sexual relations with. Have control over where you're putting sex in your life. Don't let sex be dominant. If you're married and you're with somebody who's consistently imparting into you, then that's fine. Hey, have all the sex for me, please do it. Have fun. But if not, be careful. So thank you so much. I'm going to make this one short and sweet. And the reason why I'm making it short and sweet is because this is the very first podcast and I had a lot of things going on lately. So I'm going to stop the podcast right here. And I wish you an amazing, fulfilled, exciting rest of the days leading up to our next meeting. Always stay close. Remember that I know that you're an amazing man, that you are going to fulfill exactly what it is that you want to accomplish. You were made to be phenomenal. You were made to be courageous and strong and sexy and all of those good, yummy things. Don't ever let society or anybody make you feel less than a king. Walk as a king, act as a king, because you are a king. Much love, everybody, and happy Valentine's Day.